my name's Alice Gray and welcome to another episode of Grey Matter, this series of science shorts that talks all things brain and cracks all things cranium. If you've been lucky enough to travel to a faraway place, you've probably had to deal with jet lag. And this is a temporary disorder associated with insomnia and fatigue. But why does changing time zone affect us so much? This is all down to our internal clock, or in more sciencey terms, our circadian rhythms. And this is how our brain regulates our body over a 24-hour period. In broad terms, our circadian rhythms dictate our feeding and sleeping patterns, but it also does more specific things like regulating our brainwave activity, hormone production and cellular production. Our bodily rhythms are the result of certain genes called clock genes, which stand for circadian rhythms, locomotive, output cycles, caput genes. These genes produce a protein which has downstream effects on our circadian rhythms. And if you delete these genes in mice, the mice become obese because they have abnormal feeding habits, and they also show disruptive sleep patterns. Your circadian rhythms are calibrated through a light and dark cycle, in other words, observing day and night. And your internal clock control centre is called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or the SCN, in the brain. And if you damage this part of the brain, then you'll show an abnormal sleep pattern. The SCN is synchronised by light and dark cycles by receiving information about the amount of blue light hitting the retina in your eyes. This SCN then processes this information and passes it on to the pineal gland. The pineal gland then releases melatonin, a hormone that will slowly increase throughout the day and peak during the night. Our modern way of life means that we can see light at any point in a 24-hour cycle due to artificial light sources and looking at our phones, tablets and laptops. So watching those late night YouTube videos may be causing havoc to your circadian rhythms. So how does this relate to jet lag? Well, if you're changing time zone, or even if you're doing a night shift, you're altering the amount of light that you're seeing in a 24-hour cycle, and this offsets your internal clock. Your circadian rhythms and internal clock don't just help you get up in the morning and go to sleep. It controls a whole host of functions, including your mental and physical health. And research has shown that people will have shorter lifespans if they regularly change time zones or work regular night shifts. And the effects of jet lag vary depending on your age, with younger people who regularly experience jet lag showing a diminished immune system, and older people genuinely having years taken off their life. And that's it for this episode of Grey Matter. Stay tuned for next time.